Mantra 6. Let's read it. Yastu sarvani bhutani atman yevanu pashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijugupsate. He who sees systematically everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. Now, this is really the vision of the Mahabhagavat. The previous two verses, mantras 4 and 5, they're also the vision of the Mahabhagavat, in the sense of how the Mahabhagavat, or just the devotees, sincere devotees, they can accept the Lord and appreciate the Lord, even though he manifests in contradictory ways sometimes. But now this is more just like directly about the actual vision, the perception of life around him, of the Mahabhagavat, of the devotee, particularly the advanced devotee, that they systematically see everything in relation to the Lord, see all living entities as his parts and parcels, and appreciate his presence everywhere, and therefore knowing that he's even in the heart of the demon. The devotee may still, like Prahlad to his father, he still felt kindly towards his father. When Lord Nrsimhadev asked Prahlad, or told Prahlad, I want to give you a benediction, ask for something. Prahlad said, well, I don't want anything, I'm fine, I have your service, your mercy, it's okay. But the Lord insisted, and Prahlad said, all right, my father was such a demon, surely he's on his way to hell now. So my request is, please save my father from going to hell. Despite his father trying to kill him in numerous ways, but Prahlad still felt kindly, please save my father, help my father. So therefore, this is particularly the very advanced devotees, they never hate anything or any being. So, okay, let's start going through the purport. And anyway, let's make a start. We'll see how far we get. Paragraph 1. Srila Prabhupada makes the point that yes, this is the vision, the condition, the vision. This is a description of the Mahabhagavat, the Uttama Adhikari. It just sees everything in relation to Krishna very positively. And then Srila Prabhupada, though, he goes on to explain how there are three, the way he puts it, 3 stages of realization of the presence of the Lord. You know, normally we say 3 levels, which is also correct. But here Prabhupada is speaking in a certain way that the Supreme Lord's presence is realized in 3 stages. So the first is the Kanishta, who's described in the first paragraph, the lowest stage of realization. Then, just for your information, in the second paragraph, it's the description of the Madhyamadhikari. And in the third paragraph, it's the description of the Uttama Adhikari. Yeah, who is the one who sees everything in relation to the Lord. We can just touch on this. I think that when we were doing Nectar of Devotion, we discussed at length about Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama. We can just touch on it here, that the Kanishtas go to a place of worship according to their faith, and they do some worship. They consider the Lord to be present in the place of worship and not really so much elsewhere. And a very important thing, they cannot understand who is in what position spiritually, religiously. They can't. Yeah, they can identify with people in their own tradition, but in other traditions, it's too much. And they can't tell who's advanced. So they follow routine formulas, Prabhupada says, and sometimes quarrel among themselves, considering one type of devotion better than another. You know, of course, some types of devotion are better than others, actually. But these people don't understand which type of devotion, the different stages of development of devotion. So they just get into sort of, what would you say, dogmatic arguments. They're actually materialistic devotees. Yeah. Then the Madhyams, they recognize 4 categories of being. Number 1, Prabhupada's explaining in the 2nd paragraph, the Supreme Lord. 2, the devotees. 3, the innocent. And 4, the atheists. And therefore, because they see them accurately, they interact with them differently and correctly. They worship the Lord, they adore the Lord, Prabhupada says, make friends with the devotees, try to awaken the dormant love of God in the hearts of the innocent, and they avoid the atheists. That's what Prabhupada says here about the Madhyams. And then the Uttamas, they see everything in relation to the Lord. Prabhupada says they don't discriminate between the different categories, theist, atheist, Brahmin, dog, even like this. But he sees they're all parts and parcels of the Lord. They're all my brothers and sisters. They all need mercy. Yes. So like this, the Uttamadhikari understands that people, some living entities are better situated than others. But whatever their position is, as Prabhupada discusses here, as a dog, as a Brahmin, whatever the position is, he tries to do good for them, to help them in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada says, such a learned devotee is not misled by material bodies, but is attracted by the spiritual spark within them. Then paragraph 4 is continuing the same discussion, really, in that in paragraph 4, Prabhupada's saying, don't imitate the Uttama Adhikari. By how might you imitate an Uttama Adhikari? What might you do in imitation? Well, the Uttama Adhikari sees oneness. Everyone's a servant of the Lord. Yeah. Everyone's my brothers and sisters. So you could start, if you wanted to imitate an Uttama Adhikari to get some false prestige from foolish people, then you could start acting like you have realized a sense of oneness. And then you become, as Prabhupada says, a false philanthropist. You know, some of these false Uttama Adhikaris, they say that service to man is service to God. That, you know, as Prabhupada said, Narayan, the poor man should be taken to be God and served. Of course, we should serve all living entities by giving them Krishna consciousness, but that's a different thing. So yes, they think that everyone is worshipable because they're a manifestation of God, but actually all these people are in fallen conditions and they need help. They don't need to be worshipped, they need to be given help. Yeah. So Prabhupada says the conception of universal brotherhood must be learned from an Uttama Adhikari and not from a foolish person who doesn't understand the soul or the super soul. And okay, now let's go on to the 5th paragraph. So it was mentioned in the verse quite clearly that we should, let's just refer back to it. Where are we? Oops, wrong. Sorry. The Mahabhagavat sees systematically everything in relation to the Lord. Systematically. This is a very important point. So how can one see systematically that the Lord is everything, everywhere, everything is within the Lord? This vision of all-pervasive Krishna consciousness. Well, as Prabhupada explains here, that this means you must follow the previous acharyas. And the word used, it's in the 3rd line. It's in the 2nd line, excuse me. 2nd line of the Sanskrit is anupashyati. Anupashyati. Pashyati means to see. Pashyati means to see or to observe, and anu means following. We should see following the vision of the acharyas. Just like we've all, I think, heard the terms rupanuga. We're anuga, meaning follower. We're followers of Rupa Goswami. Prabhupada, anuga. So that anu means to follow. Anuga, ga means to go, actually. So yeah, anu though means to follow. So to see following the vision, or more specifically, the descriptions given by the acharyas. So Prabhupada says, thus the word anupashyati means that one should not see things as he does with the naked eye, but should follow the previous acharyas. Yeah. So we should accept, like, for example, it means in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains, we are not these bodies. We're eternal spirit soul. And Prabhupada, our acharyas, you know, how many times have we heard that we're not this body? This is standard, like a foundational part of Krishna consciousness. So anupashyati means that we accept that. And then when we see other people, we understand that this is a spirit soul entangled in a material body. And therefore, how should I interact with this spirit soul? By trying to help them become Krishna conscious. By trying to remind them that actually you're all eternal servants of the Lord, even though you've forgotten. This is anupashyati. Whereas if even we as devotees, if we're not thinking in those terms as we interact with the people in the world, then we will, on the basis of our conditioning, we will see the people in the material world and other devotees too as potential enjoyment. That the people look nice, I could enjoy with the people. Maybe some member of the opposite sex looks nice, I could enjoy with that person. This is not anupashyati. The same person, if you see them according to anupashyati, the vision of the acharyas, the vision of Krishna, then the same person you think, this is a spirit soul, eternal servant of Krishna, let me give them Krishna consciousness. So that's very nice. Let's see. Okay, I think we'll just finish here and we'll carry on tomorrow evening rather than rush through these last two paragraphs. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.